So because it becomes your original thing. We are fed up of looking at that, advising farmers or these kind of basic. Which we know that they are not the original ideas. They are coming up.
Yes.
I'm telling you, most of the people will just stop at that, neutralizing the terrorist, and they'll come happily.
Right,
So
sir.
who thinks beyond that? Getting extraction of the intelligence and employing the intelligence to strengthen your security. So these kind of the things will show us that this particular candidate not only he wants to be in service, but he already is dreaming that he is a part of the family.
Right. In such situations, sir, अपने hero को कैसे decide करें? I mean, is it necessary to have somebody of your own age or gender, or we can choose somebody who is in more action, or should we introduce character from the outside?
शीतल, ये जो स्टिमुलस होता है ना, जो पिक्चर दिखाई जाती है, इसमें चाहे एक कैरेक्टर हो चाहे मल्टीपल कैरेक्टर्स हो, पहले तो ये बताना चाहिए कि जो भी हम लिखने वाले हैं स्टोरी में वो हम ही हैं, ठीक है? If I'll say there are number of characters are 4, right? So now you have to pick one character to begin with, है ना? So that first character will be strongly related to your personality, but that does not mean that the remaining character will be different people, okay? They will also be having some part of your personality, but as you are going away, say from first character to the fourth character, so they are their personality, they are regaining their own individuality. But you see, if you are seeing less of the age than yours, now it talks strongly about you. That means you are not confident in your age, right? Okay. That is why you are seeing you see what you want to see, no?
Absolutely.
So you will further justify, no, that was a small boy, so let it be. Yes. So you see what you want to see. If somebody is not able to complete their story, he is not a fit candidate to be in service.
Okay, sir.
So you should not talk about that, you should talk about how to deal with the stress.
Exactly, sir. That is my next question.
So, the question actually, it starts from the stress. So yes. The stress comes because you perceive this environment as a foreign environment, which is not, you don't find yourself at ease. Yes. That environment does not belong to you.
Yes, sir.
So that your mind keeps on telling your body always and every day. Right. You are a foreign element here. You are a candidate here.
Right.
They are assessing you. They are looking at you. Look what you are doing.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So it keeps bothering you.
Hello friends, welcome back to Defense Roger, and I hope you're doing good. My name is Sheetal Yadav, and in today's episode we have a very special guest. Today we have Wing Commander Kapil Rao Tantla, who is a retired officer and served over 23 years in the Indian Air Force. And during this tenure, he held a significant position as the Senior Psychologist Assessor at 3 FSB Gandhinagar and Psychologist Assessor at 2 FSB Mysore, being certified from DIPR for Service Selection Board. Sir has been always an achiever. And if I briefly talk about those achievements, his exceptional performance earned him the title of Best Passing Out Officer at Air Force Academy in Hyderabad in 2000. The following year, he was bestowed with the prestigious Chief of Air Staff Medal for securing the top position in the Order of Merit at the Air Force Technical College for PG Aeronautical Engineering. He also underwent extensive training for the various domains, and he has a rich experience of assessing the candidate will definitely give you a broader perspective with respect to the psychological test. After the retirement, he has been a part of SSB Mentor, through which he is passing out the knowledge to the younger aspirant. Details will be provided in the description box. Do check it out. And in today's video, we have talked about various aspects of psychological tests, especially focusing on PPDT and TAT, which is being considered to be one of the difficult areas in SSB. We have talked about the title, the importance of hero, and what are the impact and the significance of writing an incomplete story. So we have covered a lot of factors in this video. I hope you'll get to learn something new. So without any further delay, let's get back to the video.
Jain sir, welcome to the platform. And I'm super excited for this video. Firstly, because, I'm making a video around psychology, psychological test precisely, and after a very long time. And this is one of the most difficult areas which candidates generally face. And secondly, sir, not only psychology, but you have a diversion of experiences, which, if I talk about in this video, it will take a lot of time because you have done so many things throughout your journey, throughout the service. When I was going through the profile, sir, there were certain things which has really grabbed my attention. Few of the things would be like, sir, when you had your passing out parade, you were the best passing out officer. That is one of the, sir, cherry on the cake, which I personally felt like, because training is rigorous and, the things have just started after that. A lot of things were there. And when it comes to, sir, psychology, there are certain other areas. If I talk about you being a senior psychologist assessor of 2 FSB Mysore and Gandhinagar. So therefore, I'm pretty much excited, and therefore I prepared my questionnaire according to it. But sir, I welcome to the platform.
Thanks a lot, Sheetal. Thank you very much. I think our interaction, that's a mandate that we should benefit people at large, candidates.
Yes, sir. So since this video is with you, therefore I've targeted the most difficult area of psychological test, that is PPDT and TET examination, which is being done during the SSB interview. And my questions are going to be surrounded that only. Starting with the fact that, sir, you have been DIPR certified, and every assessor which come, sir, this term is being generally heard by all the candidates. But sir, there is no analysis, या उनको इतना पता नहीं है कि किस basis पे, assessor is being made, and you are being a psychologist, and you have assessed thousands of candidates, and still you are helping them. So sir, how this process really works? And being a psychologist, how do you assess a candidate without seeing them, just going through the dossier? So I would really like to start with that.
शीतल, that's a wonderful question. I think जब से हमने शुरुआत की है बच्चों के लिए, और recently we retired, all the assessors were there in my panel. Recently we got retired, and we always had a dream. Since this has been our passion, and fortunately all the assessors which I am having, they are all having a lot of experience. Despite the fact that assessors normally do not get that much of longevity in tenures, right? So we were handpicked for and retained in the selection system for long, because our selections rates were good, and we were believing hardcore that vacancies should get filled up in Army, Air Force, and Navy. So we were meeting those objectives. That's why we were retained for so long. We always thought of telling candidates, because nowadays first and foremost thing सभी बच्चों को मालूम होना चाहिए, जो SSB की कोचिंग होती है, वो कोचिंग एक ट्रेडिशनल कोचिंग नहीं होती है. ओके, तो ट्रेडिशनल कोचिंग नहीं होती, इसका मतलब ये होता है कि you cannot have a set pattern of questions and pattern of their answers, right?
Yes, sir.
So यहीं से शुरुआत होती है, क्योंकि हमें ये सिलेक्शन हो रहा है डिफेंस ऑफिसर्स बनने के लिए, cadre को फिल अप करने के लिए वैकेंसीज को. तो you must know वहाँ पे this is the first and foremost secured thing which a nation looks for. These kind of posts, when you are talking about securing the border, it takes care of everything. We cannot have a compromise in any kind of situation. That there are some set QRs, qualitative requirements, they need to be met. Within those QRs, there are basic QRs which are supposed to be there as such in a prerequisite levels. Then only the training will make it meaningful. Okay, and everybody, say 80 of them, they are being recommended from various boards, and the batches formed up at the academy. So all these 80 people will be channelized and will come up to that all acceptable standards by way of training at the academy, right? So अब हमें ये पता होना चाहिए कि अगर हम सिर्फ पढ़ करके या लिख करके अगर ऑफिसर बन जाते हैं तो सब लोग ऑफिसर बन जाते हैं, राइट? तो ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं हो सकता है. तो इसलिए जो इसका ऐसा नहीं है कि बच्चों में कुछ लगन की कमी है, या only thing is they are not getting the right directions.
Right.
Direction कहाँ से मिल सकती है? Now there are two things to it. First and foremost thing is जो बच्चे normally coaching के लिए जाते हैं, और उनको ये देखना चाहिए कि जो उनका mentor है, is he the assessor? He has been an assessor for the selection board or not? This is the first and foremost thing.
Right.
Now, when I say so, I believe that even the officers of defense services, they are not aware on which kind of qualities they were considered and they were recommended during their own times. Right?
Right, sir.
So, because this is a very, very highly super specialized training which will be undertaken by the Defense Institute of Psychological Research at Delhi, this falls under DRDO. So, all those scientists who are doing a lot of research work into this field only. So, they are equipping us, by way of theoretical courses and follow-up trainings, even in the real SSBs. They're giving us, understanding how to map a personality of a person.
Right.
Okay. So if you are experienced in assessment, then only you hold a ground to understand and work on those gaps which needs to be filled up by a particular candidate. So they are the right people. So choose always your mentor wisely. Okay. So now candidates who are coming to me, they're asking me, sir, how I will come to know that he was a SSB assessor, right? First and foremost thing, you should ask this question. आप सब्जी भी खरीदने जाते हो तो भी आप या रिक्शे वाले से भी आप नेगोशिएट करते हो तो आपको पता होना चाहिए it's not about the question of money or the different fee they're charging. Okay, it is that it is costing you an opportunity.
Absolutely.
They should look at those candidates who are on the verge of completion of all their opportunities. Still, they do not know from where to look on these kind of trainings. Okay. Now, so you must ask the assessor that or the so-called the mentor that are you the SSB assessors? If they say yes, most of the times, obviously, if they say yes, that should be a correct one. If you have some doubt, you can ask them, sir, can you show us your certification? Right? Certification from DIPR. So this certificate from DIPR is only given to those people who are doing good in assessment and at least have passed 1 year of assessment at the respective selection boards. Then only they'll be issued with this certificate. Okay, it comes to you during your second year of tenure, right? As a assessor. So obviously, at least the first thing you can clear off that he's an assessor and now I'm in the right hands. The second thing is obviously you should look at the longer he has served in the SSBs, the more mature he is having in not only in assessment, but he will be there to guide you how to fill up those gaps, okay, which are very much required to become an officer. So as that you will be recommended from the board and sent to the academy.
Right.
These are the two things. Now, the second question, yours question is how we people will come to know without looking at being a psychologist. Okay. So, okay, I'll tell you like this. You must be knowing about the narco analysis exam. So, there will be some injectables which will be induced in your body. It gets mixed up with the blood. And then under the semi-conscious state or unconscious state, right, wherein you will be only hearing the questions and it directly goes to your unconscious part of the mind.
Right.
So if you have experienced that kind of situation with related to the questions, that means directly without any manipulations, you'll be forced to say like that. Okay, if you experience yes or no. So it is absolutely like the same. So in the psychology exam, what happens is all these exams which are conducted in sequence like thematic apperception test, word association test, situation reaction test, and the self-description test. They are, superficially it appears that they are just simple questions or simple pictures which are coming. So they are like injectables. Okay. So they are injecting, getting into your brain through your visual and audio, whatever you're hearing from ears. It is going to your and hitting your unconscious part of the brain.
Yes, sir.
You may deny because when it starts, you are fully conscious, right? So when you're fully conscious, you may think that okay, I can easily manipulate or whatever has been taught to me by some kind of academy. So I'll be able to commit everything whatever I have mugged up. So slowly, without your knowledge, when the time constraint builds up, okay, you will be slipped without your resistance to your unconscious part of the brain, right? So for an assessor, it becomes a very easy affair. When something, as such, we know what is there in your unconscious part of the brain, maybe in the middle of the exam, right? So for some of the people, most of the people, it happens in the middle of the exam. So then those terminal parts, the starting part and the end part, will come to know the amount of manipulation which people are doing. So it becomes a very easy reference for us. Okay, that was, as per the manipulative behavior, this is a real self. So we'll come to know, and you'll be surprised to know that we'll come to know what he has been doing since he took a birth and his childhood, what all he has seen in life. Okay, what all nurturance has been taking place around his life, and after that, what he's likely to do for the next 5 years. Okay. So we equate all these things in terms of the expectations by the organization. Whether he's shouldering the responsibility, will it be fit for him to conduct in a conducive manner which is required by the organization or not. So at least we are able to forecast for the next 5 years. And mostly when we are picking up a candidate, it is aligned to the requirement for being, he's working in a hostile environment. or for the operations, for the war kind of scenario.
Yes.
So we look forward for those kind of things. So till date, and you must have seen the results out of it, because whosoever has picked up the officers, their behavior what appears to the rest of the world during the peace and during the wartime, it's all same, right? The body language, the behavior, the way of thinking and way of facing the world is absolutely the same. That is why probably it is very less they are picking up from the selection board, and most of the people are being rejected despite doing the best of the efforts in the written exams.
Right, sir. Absolutely right, sir. Sir, therefore, my following questions are going to be associated with the mindset of candidates. Because sir, जब initially बच्चा candidate preparation में उतरता है, तो they go for the dossiers of those candidates who are recommended or repeaters, and they try to replicate it. And so you being a senior psychologist assessor, so definitely ये वाला question sir मुझे आपसे पूछना है कि what should be the mindset of the candidate when they are writing the story? Because I believe sir, different candidate have different mindset, whether it's fresher, whether it's a repeater or a recommended candidate. So sir, what should be the mindset, and how should one go with the writing the stories?
So in this, first thing is it is a request to all the candidates. In fact, those good candidates we are not able to recommend them, because they are following what the crowd is doing. Okay, and as I told you, as I mentioned you in the beginning, this is not a conventional exam.
Right.
It is not that some good answer sheets has to be referred for exam and you are going to write the same. So if that would have been the case, even the militants can do that. No?
Right, sir.
They can come and take good preparation of coaching of SSB, and they can become the officers without blowing up their body. So I should right now I will advise everybody, because you start believing in that there is no such right or wrong answer to a particular question.
Right.
If you're talking about a particular situation, okay. So suppose a candidate, particular candidate who has been recommended, if he says to the people that since I have written that in one of the story that I have climbed the Mount Everest, you should write those kind of heroic things. So probably it was gelling up with his kind of personality, right?
Yes,
so probably he was of adventurous nature earlier days in school life, in the college life. He has been doing the adventurous activities in life. He has been doing mountaineering as a hobby or pursuing it religiously. So once it becomes a part and parcel of his personality since ab initio, and now if he talks about achieving this kind of aim, that would have been entirely different for a person who has never come outside and played outside. His personality is not like that. He's an adventurous guy. If he writes that, that will become a visual story for him. Visual means he's a deep daydreamer. He does not know about his own capabilities, right? So all these responses will be different. Same responses will be different from a person to person. So you must not stop following all this, nonsense which is floating around.
Right.
That's my advice to the candidates, because everybody's personality is unique, right? If you are an adventurous person, to what level you are adventurous, that needs to be looked into. Okay. By simply using the word adventurous, it has got a lot of subsets. So what kind of degree you are ready to expose yourself with a risky kind of environment. Okay, that should be a calculated risk. It should be commensurating with your physical and mental ability to withstand that kind of stress. So that will be definitely different. Now, at the same time, a person who is less capable right now, okay, he can come up to that level of expectations by imparting a training in the academy. So that would have been a different question. So it is not that those people who have missed out because of the academics and all, but they are actually mentally strong, mentally tough. They can even cope up, but all they require is the right amount of guidance. What they are supposed to think, and their perception, a perception which is there, what they're conceiving from the external environment, and what should relate to their personality, they should write about that. Not a person who is writing, heroic kind of story or putting everybody in trouble and then glorifying his deeds.
Right.
That is a wrong notion which is floating around. So please, through your channel, I would request everybody to stop paying attention to all this and stop becoming a follower. So 90% of the people, around us, we can say only 10% of the people are driving this world. 90% are followers only. So stop behaving like the one. You should have an individuality, originality, yourself. Okay, you should try and stand with the bracket of 10% people, and that's a whole mantra of getting success in SSB.
Yes, sir. So after talking to you right now, I feel like, I've seen candidates getting misleaded because they learn anything and everything from whatever they get. And therefore, I mean, this is an eye-opening for me because the way we are discussing further, so I'm paying more attention how you assess the candidates. Anyway, sir, moving ahead, title is one of the important areas. When we write a story, even in PPDT, जब हम narration करते हैं तो सर हम title अपना बताते हैं कि किसके अराउंड हमने स्टोरी बनाई है. बट सर वहां पे टाइटल के रिगार्डिंग भी ना सर काफी मिसकंसेप्शन है कि किस तरह का टाइटल होना चाहिए. शुड बी डिस्क्रिप्टिव, इट शुड बी डिटेल्ड, कंसाइज होना चाहिए. लाइक सर, इफ एनी पिक्चर इज देयर विद टू child playing somewhere, so some candidates write it's a picnic story, some write picnic with friends, some even elaborate more. My only take is that, sir, how somebody can decide a title and how important is title when we write a story.
So actually, when you are talking about the action part of the PPDT,
yes sir,
what we look forward is how much innovative this candidate is, how much original this candidate is. Okay, how much in depth or he's having a practical intelligence. Now, when I say about practical intelligence, that means we assume that all those people who are having reasonable amount of practical intelligence, that is, they are able to solve the situation on ground. Okay, and they can identify even the non-obvious resources and to solve those kind of situations. He is the person who is as such will be having certain level of basic intelligence, right? Now, the heading of the story, that is the action part in the picture perception, it relates to your objective, what you want to write in the story, right?
yes.
So in the 30-second time, when you are when the picture is being flashed before you, you are not only observing the number of characters, the detailing in the situation, whether the theme of the situation is a dynamic theme or is a rescue operation, or dynamic theme. I'm trying to say that adventurous kind of a theme, right? Or it's a library scene, something like that. So whenever you are seeing that number of characters, you should not be over focused only those parts.
Thanks.
First 10 seconds are good enough to have a broader view, then narrow view, and then broader view. This is the 3 stages when you observe any kind of thing in life. Okay. So firstly, you will look at what all things are there before you. Then you will pay attention directly, focusing on that individual who is being presented before you. Then you narrow down onto this expressions. If they are visible, obviously they will not be visible because we don't give any kind of obvious pictures. Because if you give obvious kind of detailing, then obviously we will be having one set pattern of responses.
Yes.
We want to serve it, and candidates should think in a very neutral way, like वो बोलते हैं ना, जिसका जैसा भाव उसका जिसका जैसा अनुभव वैसा उसका भाव.
Yes.
जो आपका अनुभव, जो आपका एक्सपीरियंस रहा है लाइफ में, वैसा आप उस पे उसी भावना के साथ चले, right? If somebody is always like that, he finds fault in situations in other people, or very conservative kind of a person, negative ideas, negative issues are coming in his mind, depressive ideas. So he will observe all the characters as they're crying or they're victims or something like that, right? Or they're horrified. But those people who are very optimistic, very challenge takers or adventurous nature, always composed and always spreading happiness in the face of others, these kind of people will find it differently, right? So we don't want to obstruct that. So that is the basic mandate, because we want to see that personality behind it. So the pictures will be with ambiguity, certain kind of ambiguity, which drives a person to come out with the originality. Now, after judging this character situation, now the next part is, within the next 20 seconds, people should concentrate what they are up to, what they want to do. Okay? Because whatever you are going to write is not coming from the external world. Nobody is preaching you, nobody is dictating you. It is coming through your unconscious part of the brain, where already those experiences are there. So they will force you to perceive a situation in a particular way, right? If I would have been a person, I would probably, after seeing a terrain kind of mountainous terrain and people climbing on that, I will not talk about camping or tracking. I will not talk about that because I since beginning I wanted to be in forces. I will perceive this as a military operation. That I am in that operation. What we have been doing, say combing operation or neutralizing the terrorist. Okay, so I will pursue that. Not only that, I will also pursue that how we are planning the mission. And then what all those tukris, I'll be briefing them and sending them from the different waypoints so that to reach the time of target is say 2 o'clock in the night when they'll be fast asleep. Then I will not neutralize only. I will try to catch them alive so as to I will be more interested in extracting the intelligence from them because I must know the plans, who has sent them, what are their strategies, what they were up to, so that I can plug up those vulnerabilities in my defense. Right?
Yes, sir.
If there is a porous border, I will be able to plug it in. So, and I would say, since being I'm an engineer, so I would be thinking about that. Probably I will look forward for those areas which are say inhospitable terrains or the terrains are like that. I cannot have a physical boundary, right?
Yes.
So I'll put some laser beams and those kind of improvisation ideas I'll be having how to secure the borders. So I will put all these ideas into this, right? So my objectivity would be I'll be having a objective in mind that this is an operation which is going on, and at the end point that not only neutralizing people but strengthening my borders, so as to remove the possibility of further infiltrations in that area, right? So then I will be choosing the action because again 20 seconds are enough for me to think about it. We are just discussing. I have just put it into the words, but it happens very fast in the brain.
Right. Yes.
So I'll now quickly I'll come on to this heading part and then write this heading because 1 minute is sufficient to do this jotting down the detailing in the square box and to write the action word, right? So I'll put some a very attractive kind of a heading in terms of operations, right? Or say improvising using the technology to plug the gaps or vulnerabilities in the border areas. Okay, or maybe I'll be writing preventing the infiltration by using modern techniques.
Wow. Okay, sir.
So because it becomes your original thing. We are fed up of looking at that, advising farmers or these kind of basic. Which we know that they are not the original ideas. They are coming up, and moreover, it is good. No, there is no problem if you're getting some ideas from external agency. That's good. But what you have done, okay, have you worked on to yourself? Have you integrated with your original ideas, or you are limiting to that? So if you are limiting and not using, say 3% of brain you are using, not the remaining part of the brain, then you are of no use to us because you don't have a practical intelligence then. It does not support your reasoning ability. You are not able to, you don't have an inquiring attitude to go beyond the situation and solve it. So I'm telling you, most of the people will just stop at that neutralizing the terrorist and they'll come happily.
Right.
So do things beyond that, getting extraction of the intelligence and employing the intelligence to strengthen your security. So these kind of the things will show us that this particular candidate, not only he wants to be in service, but he already, he's dreaming that he's a part of the family.
Right.
So that is what we look for.
Okay. So since we are going to discuss about TAT and PP and DT, in both of the exams, sir, we are giving a picture. I mean, उसपे story लिखना होता है, sir, in a limited frame of time. And but sir, one test is in a stage 1 testing and another one is a stage 2 testing. And number of stories पे variation होता है. But what exactly should be our approach and what an assessor is looking from us? कि दोनों के अंदर difference कैसा हो? दोनों जो test हो रहे हैं.
TAT and PPDT.
Right. Yes, sir.
PPDT is a comprehensive test. So you can say it's a subset of TAT plus additionally discussion test is also there.
Yes, sir.
So you can say TAT and picture perception part. You can say that it's almost similar because it also provokes you that triggers you to think something, imagine something, and write a story. The story part I'm talking about. Not I'm talking about only the difference between picture perception that TAT is. In the picture perception part, you are supposed to identify and mark the location of the characters on your square box
Yes.
in your answer sheet and write detailing about those respective characters in terms of gender, age, and mood. Okay.
Yes.
And apart from that, you are providing a title of the story in terms of action part.
Yes.
So see, we have not written a title. We have seen, we have written action.
Yes.
So action means what? Forge is about actions, no?
Yes, sir.
So it should click in your mind. The candidate should be, he should be very, very natural. To get into forge is flowing in my blood. So he'll be able to relate. Why only action? Why not title? Why not heading?
Right.
Okay. So this is the only difference between a TAT and the picture perception. Now the remaining part, the story part, when you started writing, is absolutely same, because there also you are supposed to write what has led to the situation, what is presently going on, and what could be the outcome. So
Right.
these three elements should be there. You should not generally, when you be talking about only thing is which needs to be born in the mind while writing either of these two is immediately you should not empower yourself or assure yourself some dominance position or dominance that you want to because you think that you are underconfident to stand before a crowd, opposing crowd. You're not able to communicate with them, and you'll not be able to face the opposition.
Yes.
Okay, that is why you are assuming an authoritative position to create artificial influence over them. Okay, everybody should understand these kind of influences will definitely be not a permanent thing. It's a temporary in nature.
Right.
You cannot earn respect and regard and control over the people unless and until they are residing the faith and confidence in your abilities. Okay, and then you are supposed to convey these kind of things through your actions. Not words will not do. Your actions will speak louder here.
Yes.
So you should not immediately assume yourself like a DM or like a class monitor, house captain, or this position. So we would these positions should be conveyed through your actions.
Yes.
And the moment you are talking about a teamwork, you should stop talking about yourself, right? Once you are doing the teamwork in the story, then thereafter there is no point. If you are still talking about yourself, that is your originality. Actually, you want, since you've been told, you've been preached by some assessor or somebody, that you are not serious on uptake, and then you just took this part that you want to you want to be doing, you should be doing a teamwork, not an individualistic action. So then you start with a teamwork, and then slowly, then you start talking about your individual achievements. So that becomes a self-centered. It gives an idea that you are a self-centered person. You don't really believe in the teamwork.
Yes.
It should be paid into this thing, understanding while doing all these things.
Yes. सर जिस तरह के आपने एग्जांपल्स दिए, मुझे एक चीज दिमाग में आ रही है कि सर while writing story also we always make sure कि जो हमारा हीरो है वो किस तरह का कैरेक्टर है, and generally it is being said by the candidates, our hero should be of our own age, own gender, but there are chances जो हमें फोटो दिखती है उसमें मानो दो बच्चे हैं सर, या only male are there, it could be any of the photo. In such situation sir अपने हीरो को कैसे डिसाइड करें? I mean, is it necessary to have somebody of your own age or gender, or we can choose somebody who is in more action, or should we introduce character from the outside?
शीतल, ये जो स्टिमुलस होता है ना, जो पिक्चर दिखाई जाती है, इसमें चाहे एक कैरेक्टर हो चाहे मल्टीपल कैरेक्टर्स हो, पहले तो ये बताना चाहिए कि जो भी हम लिखने वाले हैं स्टोरी में वो हम ही हैं, ठीक है? If I'll say there are number of characters are 4, right? So now you have to pick one character to begin with, है ना? So that first character will be strongly related to your personality, but that does not mean that the remaining character will be different people. Okay, they will also be having some part of your personality, but as you are going away, say from first character to the fourth character, so they are their personality, they are regaining their own individuality, right? And once they are regaining their own individuality, say Alpha, Bravo, Charlie, Delta, there are 4 characters. So Delta has almost regained his own personality. Say his name is Ram, right? Now Ram is alive, but your personality is also there, but in some insignificant way.
Yes, sir.
That is up to us to relate that. Now once he has regained his own individuality, Now, what can be seen is how your how you are reacting to your social elements in your surroundings. So that talks about your relationship with the people around you,
Yes.
right? So whatever you are going to write, it is, since it is coming from your mind, it is about you only,
Okay, sir.
because that is your experience. That is what you think, that what others are thinking about you.
Yes, sir.
And how you are dealing with those situations, say being in character number 1, because it strongly relates to you only.
Yes, sir.
So obviously it talks everything about you. If we are not able to get all the ideas from that particular character, then some of the supplementary things will be driving from the other characters about you only. Okay, maybe in a passive mode.
Yes.
Right? Or at least in that kind of relationship, that in a social surrounding, how you are reacting to others and how others are reacting to you. It also talks about you, your social adaptability, adjustments, cooperation, sense of responsibility. Okay, that also flows from other characters.
Yes, sir.
So your question was basically when how to deal with this, right?
Yes, sir.
What was the question?
So
What was
identify the hero of the story. You know,
identification of hero, it happens automatically, Sheetal.
yes, sir. But it's most
So,
सुनने को मिलते हैं, frankly speaking. We hear and then we try to mold our hero according to the things which we have heard. Like one of them is like you should never introduce character from the outside. It is an
no, it's not the fact. It's not the fact.
Yes, sir.
If I correctly recall your query was if that your age is say 22 years of age and you are seeing a boy, okay,
Yeah.
a small child. First of all, if that is a boy, I'll take one example that everybody sees that person as a boy, a small boy.
Right.
That will never happen. Okay.
Hmm.
So that possibility is next to impossible. That we will just show you a boy only, because we know everybody will perceive or will import a character from outside. Right?
Yes.
We will not give that kind of story. That kind of picture will not show. Now the second thing is, if you are having multiple characters, obviously the character what you see, if you are seeing less of the age than yours,
Yes.
now it talks strongly about you. That means you are not confident in your age, right?
Okay.
That is why you are seeing you see what you want to see. No?
Absolutely.
So you will further justify. No, that was a small boy. So let it be.
Yes.
So you see what you want to see.
Yes.
Right? So if you are seeing lesser of your age, a person lesser of your age, greatly, if say 22, you're perceiving a 16 years old boy, maybe studying in 12th class, right? So then further what can be corroborated from this is that you are not comfortable in your age, neither you are able to take on shoulder on the responsibility commensurating with your age. That kind of social maturity is not there, or you are tired of taking independent decisions. You just want to go back, get yourself nurtured once again. Okay, you don't want to leave the comfort zone of your mom and father. You think that when you are doing a lot of mistakes, actually they were neglecting it, right? So you are in a habit of spoon feeding. You can't once you are say 22 years of age. That means you are already given a license to work in the society. You are a graduate now, right? Rather than focusing on how you are going to be contributing in the society, you are talking about a child's age or school days life, past life. So that means obviously you are an underconfident person, right?
My God. Okay, sir. Through that only one decision, a lot of things has been taken out, sir. At this moment.
Here I would like to mention one very important thing is not on the basis of one single response we will be able to comment on a personality. We'll just put a question mark on that particular attribute unless and until it gets confirms within the TAT or from the confirmatory exams, that is the WAT, SRD, SD. We go for that confirmation. So 90% of the time it gets confirmed within those stories, 12 set of stories. If something is not there, obviously we will confirm it from there, right?
Yes, sir. So the psychological test is given in a dossier form. We have a very limited time and we have to write everything up, whether it's TAT, WAT, SRT, and ST. And sir, since we are writing and we have a time constraint, So overwriting is there, cutting is there, and sir, very fast handwriting is there. So how do you perceive those things? Because it is very natural instinct that we might write, we might overwrite, and so it could be a possibility.
Yeah, see, Sheetal, a cool, calm mind who can take quick decisions in the stress. Our aim is to find that kind of person. Right? So, if a person who is supposed to have acquired these basic levels of attributes, okay, and everybody for that matter, everybody in this world will be having these kind of attributes, the officer-like qualities. It's not that they're just given a term officer-like quality, but these are the qualities, and everybody possesses in the world, but they are of varying intensity. We don't want somebody to be very scholar or somebody very academically very strong. We don't want that kind of person. At the same time, we don't want that kind of person who is neglecting his basic responsibility to go and study, right? Or he may be very good, exceptionally good in the field activities, sportsman and all, but we don't want that kind of personality. We want a balanced personality, right? So once talking about the balanced personality, it itself gives you the idea that if you're writing something, so how this process takes place? You are thinking in your mind. Your mind now gives you action that start writing, right?
Yes, sir.
And as you see, when you start writing, your thought process does not stop because you are aiming for that objective, and within fraction of a second you're thinking and writing, right? So it should have some kind of consistency.
Yes.
If the consistency is not there, that means there is a conflict which is happening in your mind. That means you are struggling from the induced impressions by way of training, vis-a-vis your own original ideas about a particular subject.
Yes.
So that conflict, when it happens, it has to settle down. Right? If it is not settling down, you will not be able to sleep, go back in cadet mess, and then you will not be able to. You will be thinking about that. I have done that. I should not have done that. So God has blessed every individuals, by giving when the conflict happens. So it fuels out, it blows out like in terms of the body language, or maybe there if you are talking about the writing, so you'll cut that and you'll rewrite it. Okay, so that you can go and sleep, right? But for us, it becomes a very easy affair. We'll come to know this conflict has come here.
Yes, sir.
And that gives an idea, first of all, that was not something very natural to him, right? And he is trying to revisit his own individual decisions.
Right.
And he is manipulating.
Absolutely.
After deciding something, when you cut it or when you overwrite it, that means you are revisiting your old decisions, no?
Yeah, right, sir.
That too in the stress. So you see, these kind of personalities are not wanted in defense forces because on the ground, there is no retake. The enemy will not stop you. Okay, go up, prepare karke aao, then I'll fire.
Right, sir.
So similarly, here also, when you are writing and cutting it, obviously it relates to you're fickle minded. You are not able to have a matching between what you want to write and what is the original ideas behind it. So they are conflicting in nature. You are revisiting it. You are not sure. So everything will be there. So ideally, the best most of the doses who are in fact, all of the doses who are being recommended, at least from my side, whatever I have done. Okay. So invariably, if I look back, there, if you see in the word file also, if you do something and do a justify, So the start point and the end point, always and every time it is same. So it becomes a paragraph, right?
Yes.
And once we are expecting to write in 100 words, so intelligently you are thinking, it's like voice modulation. When you are able to find the action words, and when you are having a good articulation or good, how to communicate in a very confident voice, then you work upon automatically, naturally, you'll be able to understand voice modulation hota kya. Yes. So similarly here also, once you're writing a paragraph, you'll be able to understand my paragraph is about to end. So the focus area was outcome.
Yes.
The outcome should give a loud and clear message what you can contribute in the life of others.
Right.
At a bigger level, to the country, to the nation. How your actions will benefit them. Yes. So obviously that will become a larger part of the whole story. Right?
Yes, sir.
So then you are able to, you know how to build up things.
Right.
And automatically it will be within that paragraph. And it will be without cutting, without overwriting, perfectly a perfect paragraph.
Right. Got it, sir. Sir, there is other thing also. When we write a story, there are chances we are not able to complete the story. So how to deal with that situation? Because whether we take screening test, there are times because of the stress levels, only 4 minutes are given. We have thoughts, what we have aligned our thoughts कि किस तरह से story लिखना है 4 minute में, but there are times we are not able to complete the story. And same
So
goes for TAT, sir.
if somebody is not able to complete the story, he is not a fit candidate to be in service.
Okay, sir.
So you should not talk about that. You should talk about how to deal with the stress.
Exactly, sir. That is my next question.
So what? But no, the question actually it starts from the stress. So
Yes.
the stress comes because you perceive this environment as a foreign environment, which is not, you don't find yourself at ease.
Yes,
That environment does not belong to you.
Yes, sir.
So that your mind keeps on telling your body always and every time.
Right.
You are a foreign element here. You are a candidate here. Okay?
Right.
They are assessing you. They are looking at you. Look what you are doing.
Okay. Yes, sir.
So it keeps bothering you.
Yeah.
So if you keep all these feelings outside the gate of SSB and you enter the SSB as an officer, you must think, if you want to become an officer, you targeted this. First of all, you should have a hunger. That should be your original idea. Yes, I want to be a defense officer. And once you said to yourself, then nobody can stop you thereafter.
Right.
It is you who is going to stop you, right?
Yes.
And once you are entering the portals of SSB, there is a time when you should not look your people, your candidate, the boys or girls who are entering. They should not think that they are competitors. You should think that we are all going to serve the country because there is a huge gap. Lot of vacancies are there. It is just not possible that in spite of having so much of brave girls and boys, the vacancies are lying idle, and we are struggling to fill them up.
Okay.
Right? So you should think that way, and you should think those people floating in uniform. You should find a part of the family.
Yes.
Because you should find it, they are doing taking up some responsibility, and how you should help them out to discharge it. Because tomorrow you'll be also sitting like them.
Absolutely.
The same thing. So these kind of feelings from the day one, if you are having before entering,
Yes.
that this is my family, and if this is my family, I'm going to be married with. So rather than I should not be talking that I'm a foreign element in this environment.
Right, sir.
I should not think that I'm having stress. I should be taking it very, very naturally, this conduct of exercise, whatever is going to happen. In fact, before when you're sitting and facing the entering officer, then also you should not be feeling like a candidate. You should think that he's an officer and I am also an officer. You think yourself as an officer.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
Okay. And take it in a very, very playful mood, mood, and let it come out naturally. Whatever you want to say, confident, smiling face. So there also, when you're writing the exam, there is no question that you're going to leave it halfway. How can you do that? So I don't think there is any point to it, because if you have done a kind of a goal for you, a target for you, that you want to be shouldering the responsibilities and will be proud to wear the uniform, that's it. That should be the driving force. And at the same time, when you are able to write some of the stories fully, then why don't you write this story as fully?
Right.
Okay. Either you are there or you are not there. So before that, you should decide before entering the portals, because obviously you will be failed. And that will happen when you say yourself that you are not going to make it.
Yes, sir.
If you say, anybody can become an officer, why I cannot become an officer? If he can do or she can do things, why I cannot do?
Yes, sir. Yes.
That is the moon mantra of success.
So I just mold this question a bit, because now let's talk about TAT. There are 12 stories, and as I said, very limited time is there. And as we keep on doing the test, we drain our energy, and somewhere the other pressures start mounting. So sir, initial stories के अंदर काफी अच्छी energy रहती है. We are writing good quality content, and stories we are writing, and the length is good. The story is in detail form. But as the number of stories increases, the quality decreases. Sometimes, sir, the quality in the handwriting, everything goes down. So sir, firstly, how do you perceive it and how somebody can improve it? Because this is being one of the most asked question by the candidate, and which is being faced, I mean, from each and everyone who is preparing for such exams.
ओके तो अभी पहले तो मैं इसका सॉल्यूशन बड़ा इजी सॉल्यूशन है। जितना भी बच्चों को अभी तक सिखाया गया है कि स्टोरी को ऐसे लिखो, हीरोइक एक्ट दिखाओ, ये दिखाओ, वो सब चीजें अपने दिमाग से डिलीट कर दें इफ दे बिलीव ऑन मी। बिकॉज अभी तक मैंने करीब 10 साल तक असेसमेंट किया है और इफ आई एम टेलिंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ यू ऑन द कैमरा दैट शुड बी बिलीव्ड, दे शुड डिलीट एवरीथिंग। ओके, now start with me, understand yourself like a responsible citizen. Okay, so if you are a citizen, you say that you are responsible, then you ought to know what is happening in the country, isn't it?
Yes sir.
It should not be that you are not interested only, then जबरदस्ती आप पढ़ रहे हो, ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए। It should become a natural affair to you. Say for example, there are various domains here, right? Political domain, financial domain, the corporate world, then there are a lot of schemes, welfare scheme the government is floating around. There are various resources to read about those things. I want everybody to go through these kind of things because after all, whatever is happening in the country, it is going to affect everybody's life.
Absolutely.
Right? And once, say for example, Press Information Bureau is there. So you'll get a lot of information about governments, about initiatives the government is taking.
Yes.
It's not reaching to the common people. That's a different story. Now, once you relate why it is not reaching to the remotest part of the villages, the people are not getting benefit in terms of infrastructural requirements like medical facilities, roads. Okay, the basic facility, educational facilities, it is not going there. So, what could be the reasons? Okay, rather than pointing a deficiency or pointing a finger on somebody that is not performing well, he's not. Then you should become. Then we are trying to be a part of those 90% of people who keep fighting all these kind of things. Rather, you should think that if you have a position of responsibility, say you yourself face those difficulties in life. Now, how to overcome them? Right. So by assuming, say I'll become a DM, right? Because I'm inspired, I want my people to get all those facilities which they deserve.
Right.
Nobody should be denied of the educational rights, right?
Yes sir.
But despite government expending so much, it is not reaching them.
Absolutely.
So those areas I should know where to plug in and how to contribute effectively. So your assumption of responsibility will solve it all. And once you are well aware about your country, a country's position where we are standing right now, and vis-a-vis what is happening outside the country, our foreign affairs, how the dealings or the bureaucracy which is involved in the establishing the relationship with the foreign nationals, or for that matter, inviting them to for the transfer of technology and giving them a ground to create employment for people, and the technology dependency should be there, okay, within ourselves. So these kind of things will drive you to know more and more about things.
Yes sir.
Now in the TAT, that is the motto. Once you are identifying the objective, what you are going to be doing, rather than talking about basic things, a routine work, okay, talking about organizing a educational fair, or for that matter annual day function in the school or college. These are the basic things. Everybody is supposed to do that, no?
Yes.
So you should grow out of it. Think out of box.
Yes.
Rather, for example, if somebody is very good in, say, he is an engineer and he is working on some renewable sources of energy. Now he know that government is already subsidized the solar projects and it is going on, but still people are not aware. They are reluctant, despite a liberalized way. The government is giving the loan on very reduced. In fact, part of the loan is waived off. The government is sponsoring that activity. So people need to be aware. Number one. Number two, how you can integrate those things in everybody's life. Okay.
Yes.
If you talk about the agriculture sector, how the water can be extracted out of by running the submersible pumps by using this, totally eliminating the dependency on the electricity.
Yes, sir.
So ऐसा सोचना चाहिए लोगों को कि वो जो skill set whatever they have gainfully, जब तक वो on grounds they are not able to see how they can be utilized to make people's life benefited, and not only that, in the domain sector, this defense sector also.
Okay.
If you know about the weaponry system, there are airborne platforms which carry weapons. Okay, so how you can integrate that? Vis-a-vis, for example, the Mirage action, the laser bomb guided bombs were placed, and the Kargil we used it. Okay,
Yes.
so based on those books, if you are reading that, then you augment your skill set. How, if you assume yourself you already become an officer, then how you are going to use this?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
For example, I just covered that laser fencing. Then that is the idea. Then use the satellite technology. How you're going to employ that? So
Yes,
nobody can stop you in imagining those things.
Yes, sir.
I'm not trying to say that you cannot make it. If you say that I cannot make it, then it will never be made in life.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes.
So at least start conceiving these kind of innovative ideas and start putting it for the betterment of everybody. Let it be any kind of topic.
Yes, sir.
So that is how you are going to write a gainful, the story should give us a idea that how much versatile you are, how much you are able to. First of all, you should be confident that I am having this kind of skill set and how I am going to utilize this.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So that is in spite of writing a traditional approach for these stories, it is of no use. As we have seen, 90%, more than 90% people are failing in SSBs.
Absolutely, sir. Right. Even more than that, I'll say, because recommendation rate is very low, sir, to the number of candidates who are coming for the SSB.
Because it cannot be compromised. We don't want parrots to come here. We are having a lot of parrots coming from the part of the country and mucking up things and having false belief. Unfortunately, at this time, I would say they may have experienced a similar kind of exam pattern still in life till now.
Yes, sir.
This is entirely different. In fact, IAS preparation is also like that only. To mug up certain books, syllabus, complete the syllabus, have a competence in essay writing, present yourself before the interviewing panel, say something about your knowledge, what you understand about things. But it's entirely different.
Yes, sir.
It is, we don't want a person to be academicians here, or we want somebody to do a research work. We don't want that. Already there are technology. We want those technologies, how they can be made serviceable at all the time, and how painfully you can utilize them in a theatre of war. There is nothing called no, nahi ho sakta hai, because you have to find the solutions on ground.
Right. So when you were discussing about the writing the story, you were talking about ideas, how to implement them. And that is my next question is about, because I think writing the story, we need knowledge through newspaper or books. And it is the most asked question, sir, how much to practice psych? Sir, some says, you should go raw because it's your thought process, how you function. And some says you should practice a lot of psych. And you being a psychologist, sir, I think I need to ask this question, how much to practice psychological test?
फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल ना साइकोलॉजिक टेस्ट तब तक शुरू नहीं करना चाहिए जब तक आपकी नॉलेज एक फेयर अमाउंट के लेवल पे ना चली जाए और आपको ऐसा लगने लगे कि आप रिस्पांसिबिलिटी अभी ले सकते हो, एंड दैट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम योर होम फ्रंट ओनली. आपको आपकी मम्मी पापा अगर बोलते हैं कि बेटा स्क्रीन टाइम कम करो, मोबाइल छोड़ दो, कपड़े धो लो, you are not contributing in household affairs and people are telling you that's a question mark. You cannot do anything in life there, right? Absolutely. After growing up, you should be telling yourself that this is a house and my responsibilities are there. Then the responsibility towards the society comes. Then only it comes to the nation.
Yes.
Okay. Now, once you know that you are having enough knowledge about things, okay, a reasonable amount of knowledge. In that, I will cover this also, because if say somebody wants to join Indian Air Force, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means Indian Air Force will be there in their blood for the remaining more than 30 years.
Yes, sir.
So he's going to marry the Indian Air Force. Now he should know Indian Air Force about everything. When it was formed up, okay, what is how many commands are there, what is presently going on, the futuristic way, the present organizational hierarchy, who is the chief,
Yes, sir.
right? And the type of weapons we are using, the type of aircrafts we are using, fleet of aircraft. So these are the basic things. Then he should focus on his verbal skill, okay? Because now it gives him confidence in doing the psychology. So because you're killing both the things together.
Yes.
Now verbal communication have to be improved. Now a lot of people, they don't know, they hesitate in talking. They say my legs start trembling, or no, I'm not comfortable in talking. Know how to
Yes,
perform.
it's not.
It's very basic. You start, reading say I'm just quoting an example. You start editorial page ले लो, कुछ भी एक knowledge के बारे में लिखा होगा, one paragraph you take out, and you read that paragraph as loud as you can, okay, without fearing anybody.
Yes, sir.
You should think that okay, let them appreciate that you daily give half an hour for that. These activities I am telling you. So reading the newspaper loudly, what will happen is you are actually working on your voice, your ability to see and speak. And then
Right.
after that you close the newspaper, whatever you have read out. Okay. Actually, when the person is reading out, he is actually touching his unconscious part of the brain.
Right.
Now after that you just close it and write in your own words. Okay. Does not matter that you are going to use a similar kind of words which you just read out. Use your own imagination, explain that, okay? Use it in your own language, write a paragraph again about the same subject and close it once again. Okay, then stand before a mirror and then start speaking loudly. Now this time you should be fluent. You should aim for the fluency without halting your expression. You should be tactful in gapping out those things or plugging those gaps which it will come with practice. Okay, starting में होगा आप अटकोगे. Plug it out. और उसके बाद में then all of a sudden you realize that you are a confident speaker now.
Yes.
The moment the next stage you achieve in a week's time it will be done. After that, what will happen is you then start finding the action words. कि मैं कैसे उस पर जोर डाल करके उसको वॉइस को मॉड्यूलेट कर दूं. Because now once you want to address the people, there will be not interested people also, and then this just cannot happen because whatever you are going to speak, you will not let it happen that people will not listen to you, right?
Yes, sir.
All of a sudden you realize there is a need for eye contact, maintaining eye contact. So at least once again you should look in the eyes of the person whom you are addressing and stay with him. And then scanning from left to right, right to left, imagining that you are in the center.
Yes.
Do not leave anybody, whosoever is there, because the biggest link will decide the stability of your, the command and position. Here you think that you are conveying a organizational requirement to your fellow mates.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so they cannot miss out anything, and it should be in the similar idea should be there. It should not be adulterated with your own expressions. Whatever you are saying, they should conceive the exact meaning and objective. Okay. So now what is happening is one side you are gaining a competency how to address a crowd. Okay. It will help you where? It will help you in the discussion test. It will help you in the group discussion, in the GT. It will help you in the lecturate.
Yes.
Okay. It will help you in the group planning exercise.
Yes, sir.
And after this, it is definitely going to help you in story writing.
Okay.
Because by that time you will have the competency to imagine things on your own, and then you know how to develop reasonably how to develop a background logically and progress towards your objective.
Yes.
So these are the things which are interrelated.
My God, sir, I was thinking about somebody to start immediately within practices and something. But sir, आपने जो step बताया, I think it is rarely being acknowledged by candidates since they are preparing.
Yes.
So I just noticed that thing only. And sir, I believe we have gone through thousands of stories and candidates, and बहुत सारे dossier में बड़ी interesting stories आते हैं. जब आपने when you are being a part of SSR and still you are being part of SSB Mentors and you are dealing with the candidates. So कोई काफी interesting story आपको मिली हो जो आपको आज भी याद है. How somebody can write this kind of story.
अच्छा एक बार what has happened is there was a candidate, right?
Okay.
He was shown a picture in which a person was there. He was opening a almirah.
Okay.
Right? There was only a person, and the almirah was half open. His hand was on the touching the almirah. So anybody can see that he's trying to open the almirah or close the almirah, whatever. Okay. So this gentleman, he's written a story that Ram was studying in such a school, then his friend Mohan was not able to fund his tuition fee for the school, and the last date is approaching. So he approached his friend Ram. So Ram has went to his house, took out the wallet, his father's wallet, took out the money and paid for his fees. Okay. After some time, he has that Mohan has paid back the money to him, and he is kept back in the father's wallet, right?
Okay.
So that's why he was, he felt it happy that he has helped out his friend in distress. Right? So now this gentleman, I came to know about this particular thing through another friend of him who was there with me during the training, right?
Okay.
So he told sir, वो तो बोल रहा था कि ये story लिखी है उसने इसके बाद भी ये fail हो गया. So then I was able to relate. Okay, that happened with me only. I was assessor.
Yes, sir.
Now you look at the sequence of actions.
Yes,
First of all, he presents a friend in distress, right?
Yes, sir.
So that means he wants to do something by putting somebody into trouble.
Okay.
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 Otherwise, he could have done as such on his own, say by working overtime, creating a fund and helping, not about his friend, by helping, say, there are poor people, old age home, he could have contributed there, or fund fees for the underprivileged child. He could have shown like that.
Yes,
So that was not his real intention. His real intention was to quickly go for his friend, put him into trouble, and then wants to do something so that he gets an appreciation from the assessor. Because he's writing for us, no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Number two is now he has gone to his home. Okay. And then that was not his money, right? At least he could have approached his father.
Yes, sir.
So his father, he has not shown anywhere in the story. So that shows there must be a problem with his father or authoritative figure for that means in the house. That means this father is not approachable, or maybe he's reluctant to approach his father and ask him for the money.
Yes, sir.
So again, there is a social adjustments between the authoritative figure in the house and this boy, right?
Sir.
Now the next thing is he has took out the money in his absence from the wallet of his father without informing him, right?
Yes, sir.
So it amounts to what? It amounts to theft.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Stealing. So there is a though he is doing it at his home confidently, but it amounts to stealing only, right?
Yes, sir.
And now he also knows that whatever he is doing, it is wrong. That is why he is getting the money back and putting it back and showing us, because that you remember I told you the God has gifted everybody when there is a conflict which is happening among us, within us. So the God says, you do it like that, all is well. Now everything is comfortable, you can sleep.
Yes, sir.
That is why he's showing that he's put the money back and he was feeling very happy to help the needy friend.
Right.
Okay, so that was quite interesting story.
Yes,
so
sir.
though in the eyes of a student, the candidate, he or she will think that they are doing the nice work. But that is how they are actually able to help us out to judge them correctly.
Okay. So for me also, when I was listening to the story, I could find few of the faults, but I mean, the way you have gone through the details of the story which that candidate has written, so that is something very different. And therefore, I think, we need somebody to assess us when we are going for SSB, because sir, I truly believe that candidate preparation kar rahe hain, because I get Neil's messages on Instagram. They face a lot of difficulty. Therefore, we have come to an end, sir, and I could see at the back of your, there is a logo, SSB Mentors. And sir, when I was going through the profile, you have such a diversity of experiences. Just apart from the being assessor, being a senior psychologist, sir, how come SSB Mentor came into the place, sir, and what was the motive? of starting an organization?
Okay, just for the sake of benefit everybody's knowledge, I'll just say I was from a very humble family. I lost
Yes.
my father when I was a student of third class, right? My mom was a teacher, and we used to do everything from by our own hands,
Yes.
cooking, everything. We used to contribute in the house. And my father used to give us the books to read about freedom fighters and all. So I was always inspired to join different services since beginning.
Okay.
So I became engineer because I wanted to become an engineer. I was passionate about electronics. I am still a very hardcore engineer. So
Yes.
I contribute when I went for the SSB. That is a time without any preparation. In our time, no mobiles were there. So I was very good in outdoor activities, meeting up with the people. I was part of NSS, I was part of Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad. So it is really I came to know about the world very quickly, what is happening. How I can contribute to this country. And then I always wanted to see that my engineering skills should be employed gainfully by the organization, right? So I just got the invitation when I applied for SSB from Air Force and Army. Both the dates were together. So I decided to go for Air Force, and in the one go I became, I was recommended in the one go. So when I joined Air Force Academy, so I was thinking always, when I used to see that there are some appointment holders, they're doing good in outdoor activities and academics. So I was thinking, if these people can do, why I cannot do?
Yes, sir.
Then I started assuming myself that I have become a appointment holder, and the next thing which has happened is I stood first and in both the things, and then I was given this appointment. And as you covered that, I got Chief A Staff Medal as the best passing out officer from my course. Then I completed my MTech, and it just happened that I got an opportunity through services that I'll be completing my law. I completed law. Then after that, I applied for becoming there was a in 2012 there was an entry called IPS limited IPS examination was there. So it was happening for the second time in the country. So I applied for that. Even I cleared that exam. I was the only person from Air Force who has cleared this exam. I was always open for a lot of experiments.
Yes, sir.
So this psychology was going by, since beginning when I was working with 200 men who were alongside with me. So I was always thinking that there are various age group from 17 years of age till 59, 57 years of age. How to deal with them, how to tactfully take out the knowledge from them. So psychology was always helping me out in their welfare activity, in the motivating. And I was as such as a kid of 21 years. So obviously the elder people who though technically were working under me, but then they will always be having this question mark, na, ye bhi naya bacha hai, main kaise sikhayega. So I used to earn my bread by working with them and proving them that I do understand, and I am not that kind of person who will be having some visual ideas that I'll never give them some that kind of command which I cannot execute. So that kind of confidence that is built up among them. So that what has happened is unfortunately I couldn't join IPS because that was challenged by the IPS community. The government decision was challenged and then went to Supreme Court, and then UPSC was fighting for us. Then I was picked up for becoming a psychologist, right? So people told me go for interviewing officer or GTO because that was relatively lesser in size of theoretical part, and because psychology encompasses everything, and these are technically byproducts of psychology because you are dealing with the unconscious part of the brain, which is more interesting. Okay, more interesting, and I wanted to do that, so I went for that, and immediately after my passing out from DIPR and subsequently OJT at number 4 FSB Varanasi, I was picked up for tenure at Mysore. From Mysore, I served the longest tenure, close to 5 years, which is normally not given. Probably I was doing good, and then the second tenure I could complete here at number 3 Air Force Selection Board. I was head of the department. So in the meantime, I got an opportunity to do MBA. So then again, logistic was something which I wanted to learn and go for technical, understanding of logistics, because logistics was something which was lacking. Like I was not able to fully appreciate. So I did a MBA. I stood first in university. I got a gold medal from UP.
Okay, sir.
And then that inspired me. I can do MBA normally also, and the best thing was when I became a psychologist and was about to having so much of experience. I wanted to study from the corporate point of view. So to understand the organizational behavior when these people are so competent at working in one particular set of environment, how to understand them, how to motivate them, how to retain them, because retention is a problem in corporate world. So and that relates to the psychology, okay, basic needs of people. So then somebody suggested me that there are two good institutes to do this thing in MBA. That was HR only, human resource. So one was Tata Institute of Social Science and one was XLRI Jamshedpur. So I picked up XLRI Jamshedpur. They were kind enough to give me admission for MBA program. I did that. And when I completed almost 24 years of service, then there were some personal requirements. So I requested my organization. They were kind enough to relieve me. And I thought that, parallelly, I should do or something on my own. Though I got appointments of chief executive officer in a company, working for some time. Parallelly, that idea conceived, I started with the online coaching. And I don't want to leave this Gujarat place for one reason, simple reason. There are no such person who can guide the Gujarati people, and Gujarat has not contributed significantly in the defense services, right?
Yes, sir.
So I found I was in love with this place, being a Haryanvi, being from Gurgaon. There are a lot of academies are there in the country. Only thing is there is dearth of good assessors, right? So I wanted to do something for the betterment of people. Obviously, once I am, people are approaching everywhere. It is not that place does not really matter. Only thing is I wanted to choose this because there was a number 3 A4 selection board nearby, and I was retiring from this place. Gandhinagar is a nice place.
Okay.
Then what has happened is these my students, when I started online, they only suggested me, sir, can we expect something offline from you?
Okay.
So they inspired me, why not? So then I, contacted my seniors who were just retiring. They were, they were very happy to join me, and then we opened this offline center here at Gandhinagar.
Yes, sir.
The first candidate who we got, we were actually working on the GT ground, making to bring it alive. So he told, sir, no problem. I told that it's coming up is not ready, but well, sir, this is my first and last opportunity. I want to come there only. So he came. Apart from, he was self-driven person. So Abhinav Chiller, I would name him Abhinav Chiller, and he came and whatever the formal courses for formal sessions, after that he used to stay here only and work and contribute in the GT ground. Okay, he used to. Then he started thinking what are the solutions along with us. Okay, for designing a particular obstacle, what could be the next solution. So he was contributing that. For 12 days he was here, and you'll not believe. After a week, his SSB was here only. And the first go he got recommended. Now he has got all India rank 9, and he is joining academy now. So now this thing has further motivated us.
Yes, sir.
Because after immediately coming out of the assessment, we were not sure whatever we are going to adopt the methodology to assessment is one side. We can assess anybody. Any assessor for that matter can assess anybody. That is your present level of assessment. But that is not the way. We must let him find the gaps and how we can work upon those gaps. That was the idea. So it's about rewiring your brain, rewiring your beliefs, your experiences, and how we can align them. If you start thinking about that, yes, there is a requirement and there is a place to be created for forming a new impression in your unconscious part of the brain. So that has happened. We were confident. So we further invited people, and for the first time we calculated our the selection rate for the first time recently last month. So that was close to 46.6%. So those of us, we are not trained much because we don't take much of the candidates. We just take 10 people because 10 people are more than enough for an assessor to grill them properly, to give him, the time to develop within this. We don't want to take a crowd with us. So that was our aim. Now, Sheetal, what has happened is those people who have not made it, okay, so they are the part of the alumni group now. So what they have been doing is, whenever they're getting time and chance. They're coming here because we don't want to leave them half. Okay,
Absolutely.
on their own, they're coming to us as a family member. They're practicing with us. Okay, it's a complementary thing for
It
everybody.
just felt like family.
Till the time they will not make it, we will not, keep quiet. And it may sound wishful to anybody for that matter.
Absolutely.
But you can, if a person really wants it to happen,
Mhm.
so even the God will never stop him. So that was the aim. So that is why we are looking forward. And recently, one couple, it was a service entry. Sergeant, sorry, he has got through now. So now it further, gives us a way that whatever we are doing for the candidates, and we want to, cross this 50%, 60%, 70% selection rate. Till that time, they will be having the opportunity. We will not let them to lose hearts and just give it away. So that is a kind of confidence we are trying to build.
But I completely trust you because I've gone through the profile, sir, and you love challenges, which I've understood so far. Whether it's starting from the Air Force Academy to the further on, sir. And I always love to have such guests on the platform because, sir, there would be a lot of psychologists, but somebody who has so much diversity throughout their service and beyond. That is highly appreciated, sir. And I think there would be a time in future when 10 on 10 candidates are going to get recommendation because, it could be a possibility for sure.
It will happen very soon. It will happen. Maybe I can foresee if I put a timeline, maybe 2 to 3 years.
Yes, sir.
We'll be able to hack it. Definitely will.
Sir, I've seen apart from the conversation, sir, I've seen coaching academies, having a bulk of candidates, 90, 100 and beyond. And they cannot pay attention to each and everyone. And therefore, when you said 10 number, when you just shared it, it was very surprising for me to have 10 candidates only to, whom you assess. So, sir, that is really very highly appreciated because, people have experiences, but they start developing business. And sir, having experience is not an issue, sir. They are helping candidates itself, but having 10 candidates and then focusing on those, it becomes a challenge. And I really
I'm not saying that all what is required. Whosoever running the academy, if he's taking, I came to know even 200 people are there in the batch.
Yes, sir.
So you take those many people, there is no problem. But you cannot. It's inhumane or humanly it's not possible to dedicate yourself for more than 10 people. So if you are having that much of staff and you can divide your staff accordingly, 10 people maximum. So I think they will be also able to deliver a good rate of success.
Definitely.
Right now what they are doing is they are just publishing the faces of few people. So obviously it's a volume based game.
Yes.
200 people are reporting to you, you'll find as such if those 4 or 5 recommendations which has happened, if they would not have come to you,
Yes.
as such they would have done better. Even for that matter, those people who were actually good candidates now because of the wrong facts or they're not able to resolve their doubts, they're not able to make it.
Yes, sir.
So they should start, talking in terms of the ratios.
Absolutely.
And the candidate should go and check their records. Is there a record ratio before taking a judgment?
Yes.
Because they should not play with their own opportunity. And this is not something भेड़ बकरियां हम लोग नहीं लेते ना. So होना चाहिए वही कि जो बैचेस बनाओ 10 के बैच बनाओ और एक सेट ऑफ असेसर उनको डेडिकेट करो. If you can have that much of ability to really want to do justice, I think that will be beneficial for everybody and that will serve the mandate. बच्चे इसीलिए आते हैं ना, बच्चे तो इसीलिए आते हैं they are having the burning inside, they want to do this, they want to become an officer.
Yes.
So you should provide and facilitate that whatever the model you are having, the commercial model, that sustain only if for a longer duration if you are able to give and produce good results.
Yes.
Otherwise, it will die its natural death.
Yes. So we have come to an end, and I really enjoyed the whole episode. Even though I would have heard it while going for my SSP, it would have definitely helped me. And now I feel like, why don't you retire prior? Because
for sure. अगर आप अगर मैं टाइम पर रिटायर हो जाता और समय मेरे पास आते तो for sure मैं गारंटी के साथ बोल सकता हूँ कि आप ऑफिसर जरूर बनेंगे.
Yes, sir. So we have come to an end, and it was my pleasure to have you on the platform. And indeed, I believe, sir, a lot of candidates are going to get help because, sir, through your experience, we don't know how many candidates are facing difficulty. And there are people from very remote areas who are looking for such guidance. And you gave your valuable time, sir. I'm really very happy to have you here, sir. Thank you so much for joining me.
So nice. And all the very best candidates.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Shital. Thank you for the opportunity you provided. Thank
Yes.
you.
Thanks for watching the video and let me know in the comment section below if you have any doubts. Follow for more such content. Jai Hind.